It's the nightmare that keeps getting worse and worse and worse. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, August the 22nd. And phew, what a nightmare we have going on here now between a senile president who they'd like to impeach, to a vice president they have no desire to have in office, to the choice of Nancy Pelosi in the office. Oy veyes, what a show this is. I can't use the proper wording, but you all know what I'm saying. In the meantime, if you know Xander, it's his birthday today, 27th today. But in the meantime, this first part is brought to you by our new partner at our SW Cayman, CAYMAN, .com/Bubba/trading or Bubba-trading. They are our physical metal supplier. That's who I buy from. And of course, check them out. In the meantime, we've got a real show going on here between Afghanistan and COVID and, the new taxes that, of course, the party of the small, which is supposed to be defending small business, wants to hike taxes on small business. Was this a part of the campaign promise? I don't remember. I don't think so, though. But again, we've got the continuation of the idiot in charge, and it continues to worry. So those of you who are so happy to get rid of the Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump, well, I guess we got what we deserve as we continue to see this COVID battle. Now, again, I know nothing about it from a scientific standpoint. I am not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But all I can interpret is nobody knows. And if they do know, they don't want to admit to it because it's a way to keep the free money train rolling. It's a way to keep the shot to get universal income going. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's scientific studies from some. Again, I don't know what's right and what's not right. This is the problem, is we don't know what is right and not right. But there's a study that was buried that just came out that the masks do not have a statistical event in helping prevent the spread of COVID, if it actually is part of it. Now, I know the hospitals are full and the emergency rooms are full. Again, I don't know what to believe or what not to believe. That is the simple question. But I know that it is being used as a political ping pong ball, which is what bothers me. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like politics with people and with their lives, nor do I like the BS that we have to hear. Give us the truth. That's what we should get, not a political spin on what is or is not part of the virus. Okay, I don't get that part of it. I do get it because that's what both parties do. So not to pick on just one side, both parties are at fault, and both parties are using every political football they can find to make some stupid story up, instead of defending our Constitution and defending our rights as Americans. This is where the real problem is, because, of course, President Biden, let me give him his due, continues to trash the Constitution. I mean, again, this is where I have a real problem with our entire economic system, with the way we do business, with the Federal Reserve. I mean, we are almost forced and compelled to keep rates dirt cheap because of our own interest payments, because of all the debt we created. Now, why are we in such a hurry to create all this debt? Why are we in such a hurry to keep pumping in stimulus? There has to be an agenda behind there, doesn't it? Okay. I mean, there's plenty of jobs available. So obviously, there is a political agenda. So when you look at the bigger picture, make people get off their ass and go to work. Screw the stimulus. Get a job. Work harder. That's what should be done. Not passing out our money, because at the end of the day, you just heard me say they're going to tax small business. You want to keep paying more taxes? Hey, good for you. I don't choose to, because the money does not go where it should belong. Okay, listen, if you told me that my taxes were going to go directly to help veterans, or isn't directly to go to help the American people that really needed help, I'd be all for it. But when I know that it's not going for that purpose, when I know that more than a big percentage are scamming the system, and that our politicians are taking raises, I have no interest. Screw them and what they do. They ain't worth a crap anyways. Okay, the whole system is breaking down. This nightmare is only headed to get worse. Okay, because this is what we created. This is the monster in the political system that we have created over the last, I don't know how many years, 100, whatever it is. Okay, and throw in a moronic Fed that is so totally clueless and using 100-year-old models to figure out inflation. I mean, every one of us is being affected by this massive inflation. And the sad part is that it's either going to be hyperinflation or stagflation next. But nobody will admit to it, as you see. I mean, you've got the San Francisco Fed president says inflation will return to normal. What is normal? They have not defined what normal is yet. Okay. First, it was a 2% target. We got to 2%, and then they moved the ball once again. And of course, you've got Kaplan, okay, another Fed president, who says that, well, maybe they have to slow the talk of taper because of the Delta variant. What does one thing have to do with another? Okay, what is wrong with a free market decision on what rates would be? I assure you they would be higher than where they are now. I assure you, if we didn't create so much debt, I mean, you imagine we're in the trillions, and they want another $3.5 trillion. So how are we going to ever go back to functioning normally? Okay, there's no way that money can ever be paid back. It's the biggest crock. Plus, you talk about the other things. They want to waive student loan debt, all the other stuff. I mean, I'd like to get my money back from the student loans that my kids didn't take. Okay, but in the meantime, you've got, of course, our old friend Janet Yellen, who is supporting Powell for another period, another tenure as the Fed chair. God help us. Okay, it is amazing because Chair Powell was a very bright man. Well, I guess he's still bright, but he was not such an idiot when he went to the Fed and all of a sudden decided that you have to give out free money. That's the only way you can keep the markets going. Okay, when the fact of the matter is that markets will price themselves, and free markets will. But of course, we're getting away from that free market system. Okay, and it's for those of you who don't understand. Okay, this low interest rate policy benefits only the uber wealthy. Okay, it benefits nobody else, because the house you are buying at a low rate, you're paying substantially more for it. So again, it's a zero-sum game of BS, because if rates go up, okay, the house you just paid $500 for, you pay $400 for it. So it doesn't really matter. It's a con game. It's a shell game. Again, it's the biggest legalized Ponzi scheme in history. And at this point, it shows nowhere of slowing down from the Ponzi scheme that is existing. Okay, housing sales are declining. Is that a concern? I don't know. There's going to be something that eventually will cause the market meltdown. Now, what is it going to be? Nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows when, and if anybody says they know when, they're a liar. They're garbage, because nobody knows when the meltdown is going to begin. But I would say there are concerns. Housing declining. How about the price of lumber? Got up to about $1,800. Now it's under $500. So it's down about 80% from its highs. Now, again, we're reaching lows not seen in years as well. Now, lumber is not a liquid market to trade, but certainly it has to cause somewhat of concern, okay, from a perspective of economy. Now, again, is this the straw that's going to break the camel's back? I doubt it. Okay, again, but it's something, at some point, everybody's got to cry uncle. Okay, because between taxing small business, between people not working, between all these higher raises that they have to pay to get people to even come to work, okay, is going to break a lot of these businesses. Okay, this is the system, the Keynesian way, okay, of business, but yet, we see, and of course, I don't understand the question of why the weakness in equities of recent vintage. There's no real weakness. I mean, we're in consolidation, and markets are almost at the highs. I mean, are we going to say that the one day that the Fed opened their gap on Wednesday is the markets are going lower now because of that? That's equity weakness. I mean, we'll get into it in our market report, but the markets were sharply unchanged, basically. I mean, it's slightly lower, but basically unchanged. So I continue to try to look at these things that they're talking about, and there's all kinds of studies being buried, which we know. We know that Facebook hides any conservative news. So when does it end? Where does it end? And how does it end? And I think that's the bigger concern that we should all be afraid of. And of course, as we talked about last week, President Biden asked OPEC to create more oil, to make more oil for us. And of course, God forbid we should make our own. And he fully embraces this Green New Deal. And again, I have no problem with working our way towards energy efficiency and green energy. I mean, I'm not against it, but I am against stopping completely of like what we just did. Okay, of raising the cost for everybody when we could be taking care of it ourselves and slowly working our way out. The same thing that Obama did with coal, okay, put everybody out of business without thought, without care of the ramifications of where it would take the people that were involved. And once again, we've done it. We've done it once again, and it's interesting. Now, again, I don't know the facts behind this. I don't even know if it's factual. But there has been a report all week that in 2010, Osama bin Laden penned a letter stating that they can't wait till Biden eventually gets into office. That was before he got beat, before he didn't win, or get elected. But this was back in 2010. But that he would cause nothing but chaos and trouble in this country. And of course that makes sense because he is as clueless as it gets to everything. And half the time he doesn't know what he's saying to begin with. Okay. So again, hey, I want this country to do well. I live here. Okay. And there is no better place to go, but I've got some very, very serious concerns about where we're headed. And, you cannot continue at this pace of creating debt, creating issues, and creating markets that don't exist, let alone let these politicians take huge amounts of salary hikes and raises and always get paid no matter what, even when the American people are struggling. Okay, so how can we possibly continue at this pace without some major problems? I don't see how it's possible. Okay, I don't see the potential in what they're doing. I see disaster written all over everything. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horwitz. It is Sunday, August the 22nd. And of course, this update Bubba's Bottom Line is brought to you by a couple of our brokerage partners. Now, again, we have other brokers, but we have two that we prefer, and we always recommend them. And again, just so you know, I have other brokers, but for futures and commodities, it's the CTG Group, Capital Trading Group. And why Capital Trading? Very simple. Okay. They have a great customer service team. Actually, the team, it's the owners. Okay. They're there. They answer the phone. They've got great managed futures products. They manage all my accounts, okay, and they're the only ones I've authorized for letter of direction for those reasons. So if you want to check them out, please do so. Go to capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's capitaltrading.com/Bubba, and check them out. Again, listen, we don't tell you to go anywhere. We are giving you our recommendation of what we prefer. And for equities and options, there is nothing like trade your brokerage. I mean, again, $10 a month should be all I have to say. But if I need to go further, Okay. You're saving a fortune on commission, number one. Number two, we've got their APIs, which we have the ability to automate the equity portfolios that we market. Okay. And you don't have to. You don't have to use automation. You can use Trader with or without, but it is included in your membership. And if you'd like to have your equity portfolio automated, you can. That is, again, we don't want you to do anything you don't want to do. We are on your side. We are on your team and want you to be a part of it. But we try to do everything we can to help our members get the best of it. Okay. And of course, Family Farms, what a group they are. I had a nice long meeting with them on Thursday. And, what they try to help farmers with between HR and everything else. But again, their bottom line is they want to help farmers defend against the capital, and which is a huge thing, especially in that industry, from lending, all kinds of things. But Family Farms, I'll have some more information for you again as we continue to go through. But I'm really happy that we're partners together, and because they do such a nice job with everything that they do. And of course, our commodity report, which is technical, written by Andy Hecht, who is a partner at Bubba Trading. Andy is a 40-year veteran on the retail side, worked for Solomon Phillips Brothers, was a vice president. Okay. And of course, has traded commodities, not only off the board, but physical worldwide, went to places that we would want to go to trade commodities. And he's written a report that ties in our algorithms. Okay. Weekly, comes out, a weekly on Wednesday and a summary on Friday every week, plus the quarterlies. Unbelievable report, worth every penny. And if you're trading commodities, not reading this, shame on you, go see a doctor. But if you want to get a hold of it, go to BUBBATrading.com. It's called Technimental. And of course, our high school program, if you'd like to help us out as we rebuild it for this school year, or try to get it done, it's BUBBATrading.com it's Patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's Patreon, Patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Of course, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market update. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 22nd. Of course, it's Xander's birthday. So those of you who know Xander, many of you do, wish him happy birthday. In the meantime, this episode, this part of the market update is brought to you by our friends at the CTG Group, one of our brokerage partners. Again, we have many brokers, but the one we prefer is Capital Trading Group. And that's because their service is second to none, and because they take care of my members, which is why they only have authorized letter of direction trading. They trade all my portfolios. They've got some great managed futures products. If you want to check them out, go to capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, the markets last week were sharply unchanged. You hear they're talking lower, but we had up on Monday, down Tuesday, got smacked on Wednesday, hit lows on Thursday before coming all the way back, and then rally on Friday. But basically, if you look at the weekly chart, the move was minuscule, okay, and basically within the trend. Basically, if you look at the chart, okay, which is everything is price action bias anyways, we're in consolidation. The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all hit support and immediately bounced up and ran towards the highs, okay. We remain long the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. The Russell is now going on its 7th month of consolidation, and it's now testing once again the bottom end. We are still short the Russell. So you can see that we don't necessarily, we can be mixed in portfolios. So long the three majors and short the Russell. Okay. The metals market remains or continues to be a challenge. We're still short across the board. Okay. We don't trade platinum anymore. We do buy it though, but from a physical standpoint, but from our friends at SWP. But in the meantime, platinum is not tradable for us. It's not liquid enough, but it would be in a downtrend and we would be short. But we are short gold and silver. And of course, every rally in gold so far is still being met by sellers. And of course, the gold traders, the gold bugs are getting crazy. How can it keep going? How can it go down? Well, because the price is telling you that it can go down. Look, it's always about price. The market is always right. And those who think they're smarter than the market always end up bust. Okay. We're short them all. Okay. Crude oil got crammed and we're still short. Looks bad. And it's amazing it did not bounce off of the request from President Biden. But hey, that maybe tells you how weak it is. Copper, it smushed last week. Okay. We're short copper. but it did get smushed, and it looks pretty weak. It did go below the $4 level, which we thought it would. Nat gas was a little bit lower, but we're still long. It's very high for this time of year. Now you've got some of the hurricanes coming. You got the big tropical storms. A lot of reasons now to think that it could go higher. The bonds and notes continue to work their way higher, which is not a good sign. It means interest rates are still working their way lower. Well, how much lower, I don't know, but we are negative in most of the parts of the world. And you've got the Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Well, it's going to be a virtual meeting this year because of COVID. But this is the big Fed meeting where they may do something. This is where all the big geniuses get together and figure out how they're going to steal our money. Okay, but that is Jackson Hole. And the cryptos, they've had a beautiful recovery off of 30,000 Bitcoin has. And of course, on Saturday, they got close to 50,000. So let's see what happens. I mean, as we said all along, we are continued to be, buyers of the crypto. Now we trade, obviously there's more products now to like BitQ, Mara, Riot, and others that you can trade more actively. We have a small investment in the crypto world with, the wallet, all that stuff, because of course, that stuff you have to be prepared to go to zero. Okay. Don't invest more than you'd be willing to lose in a weekend in Las Vegas. Okay. But we like it. I mean, I believe it's real. I believe it'll be around. And I think there's going to be a lot of usage. I think once they weed out all these, these criminal cryptocurrencies, because over 11,000. Okay. In the meantime, cryptos look pretty good. Okay. And the dollar is exploding to have made new recent highs. And of course, we're long dollars. As we look at the grain market, ugly. Okay. The ugliest is soybeans. They have actually broke down. We are now short soybeans. We got short Friday. Okay, into a higher market, which is a good thing because they get creamed. The 1290 level, I think, is really key. They close at 1292. So we'll see tonight how they open. But again, tonight's not that a big indication. Corn and wheat, continue to hold support levels. We remain long. Wheat is due a rest, and corn is at a key moment, but it's still we're still long it, and it's still, if you look at a chart, it's still pretty good. Okay. In the meats, proteins, you've got cattle, both fats and feeders were higher for the week. We're long both. They look okay. Again, I think, we've got a lot of good things happening coming up, and I'm still positive on the entire agricultural complex. Okay. And hogs, they go up and down like a yo-yo, and we're still short. Okay. And in the softs department, you've got, we're long them all. Okay. Cotton is still going higher. Coffee been moderating. Looks like it maybe wanted to turn back the other way after making some big moves, but we're still long. Sugar, look, it made all-time highs, right? So it's pulling back a little bit, and we'll see, but we're still long. Cocoa has been moving nicely higher, along with OJ. And again, at the end of the day, we're going to stay with the trends, and that's what we trade. We are trend traders. That is our business. Okay. And we redesigned some of our futures portfolios over the weekend. So to account for the new products, mini micro crude, micro bonds, and of course, we now trade the micro Bitcoin. Okay. So at the end of the day, I say this to you, the markets are, tenuous, but they're still going up. And until further notice, we're going higher. Okay. So don't try to pick the top. Guys who pick tops and bottoms are guys that'll take you out of business. Okay. And one of the things that is still fueling these markets is very simple. You still have people trying to tell you that it's over. Okay. And as long as there's people willing to sell into it and trying to pick the top, the rally will continue. Okay. Because money will always go where money is treated best. And unfortunately, the best are only to be treated by the uber wealthy, because the average guy like you and me does not get the same benefit that they do because we don't get the access, the use of that capital. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, we're going to step out of a break. We'll come back with my commentary after the break. And of course, don't forget our sponsors. And one of our new sponsors is our metals provider, the person that I use, the one that I vetted, that I use regularly to buy all of my metals from. That's SWP, Sierra Whiskey Papa, Cayman, Charlie Alpha Yankee, Michael Echo November.com / Bubba Trading. Okay. And of course, they're a great partner and look forward to doing more with them. And our equities broker. And again, I have other equity brokers and all the big names. You can put them out there. I have an account at all of them. But the one I prefer is the one that saves me the most amount of money, $10 a month. How can I complain about that? And Tradier is great. They do a great job. We've got their APIs, which allows us to automate our equity portfolio models. So, again, nobody has to go anywhere. You trade where you want. Okay. And we are working on others as well, but we are happy to have you as members. And as members, we try to help facilitate and give you better options and better choices. Okay. So trade your brokerage for equities and options. And of course, Family Farms, great partner, trying to help farmers with all the things that farmers themselves don't want to deal with. They want to farm. And that's Family Farms. And of course, our commodity report, Technomental, written by Andy Hecht, the guy 40 years in the business on the retail side and physical side of trading commodities. Go to BUBBATrading.com and check it out, Technomental, and our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, your host, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horwitz. Of course, every week I give you some commentary, something I'm ragging about and not happy with, and this week is no different. And, as I opened up with and we talked about the nightmare that we are seeing, and it does keep getting worse and worse, between the Afghan disaster pullout, okay, which this has been. And I don't know that Trump would have done it better. Again, I'm not criticizing necessarily. I don't know if it would have been better done before. But the way this has been handled has been brutal. And many of the people that I know that are in the service or were in the service are very disgusted at the way that things have been handled. But it's almost a comedy of errors when you either some of the things you hear from the president or some of the things that he does, which make no logical sense. So we're really seeing a basic nightmare in every walk we live in, because between the ridiculous stimulus to the drive for universal basic income, to every other program that we would have to go into deeper debt to get through, nothing makes sense. Okay. And it is the most illogical situation that I think this country may have ever experienced. Now, again, I'm not going to put this all on President Biden. This is a culmination of effort for the last, I can only account for the last 50 years, but each president has continued to build more debt. And of course, we know the bigger the number gets, the faster that it multiplies. But at some point, somebody's got to say, stop. Live on a budget like the American people have to, so that you don't get so far out of whack and give away so much money that taxpayers have to pay for, when if they lived on a budget like you and I, we would be running like a well-oiled machine. But of course, we gave up our oil to OPEC. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horwitz. As always, I thank you very much for listening and watching, and I hope to see you soon. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow with our Bubba's Daily Update. And again, next Sunday with another Bubba's Bottom Line. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. As always, I thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.